Good afternoon, everyone. I am John Coleman. I'm the Dean of the College of Liberal Arts, and it is my great pleasure to welcome all of you to today's 2016 Senior Celebration. I will get the important news out of the way at the beginning. It's 9-9 at halftime, just for anyone who's wondering. Before we begin our program, I want to acknowledge the Phil Hay Trio, who are led by University's School of Music faculty member Phil Hay on drums, features Emmy Award-winning composer Phil Aaron on the keyboard, and Top Call Twin Cities musician Jim Chenoweth on bass. In addition to teaching, yes. In addition to teaching and composing, they can be seen performing at jazz clubs and music venues throughout the Twin Cities and the Upper Midwest. They did a tremendous job. On behalf of the College of Liberal Arts, I want to congratulate our graduates who are here today and your families. Because graduates, as you know, you did not get this far on your own. Your friends and families have played an important part in getting you here today. They provided patience, understanding, support, encouragement, maybe the occasional prodding when the occasional prodding was needed. And that's from your nervous first days on campus to the jitters of your first and subsequent exam periods right up till today. The graduates, please join me in thanking your friends and family. Let's also take a moment, graduates, to acknowledge your faculty, advisors, and staff. They've encouraged you to grow academically, helped you develop new interests, mentored you, and created an environment that has helped you thrive. Perhaps they introduced you to a career path that you had not considered, or gave you your first shot to engage in academic research. They've taught you bodies of knowledge, conceptual and analytical tools, and methods of inquiry and discovery. And they've dedicated themselves to ensuring that you are well prepared to live thoughtful, productive, and rewarding lives. Let's give them a round of applause. Today is a momentous day in our graduates' lives. It is the day you mark a new phase in your life. It's a day of celebration. Now, as the dean of a liberal arts college, I have to say I'm biased on this issue, but I believe that no model of education speaks better or more directly to the challenges of our time and has you more ready to face those challenges than to be educated and trained in the liberal arts. You are not just ready to go into the real world, though you are that, but your education here at CLA has prepared you uniquely to become transformative leaders and engaged participants in your society. Now, I could go into the long list of values and virtues of the education that you've received here. Trust me, I could go on and on, but most of you would be asleep by the time I'm finished with all that. So I'm going to cut that short, and instead of going into that long list, what I want to talk to you about are two things that you've gained from being a liberal arts student that you probably haven't thought much about. You've thought about what you hear, that you've learned to communicate well, to write, to be a problem solver, to analyze questions, and so on. But there are some things that you've learned that I believe are equally important that you probably have not heard so much about. And these are skills that are valuable in your personal life and the interactions you have with each other. They're important in your employed position in an organization, and they're important in your participation in civic life. And these are the practice of empathy and the ability to create community. Empathy is a value, but it is also a skill. And it is not just a nice-to-have skill, but it is a skill that is vital to healthy relationships at the personal level, healthy organizations, and healthy societies. And this applies whether your worldview is liberal or conservative, libertarian or socialist, or something else entirely. Fruitful conversation between individuals with different views is not possible if people are not willing to look at the world through another person's eyes. I am a political scientist by training, so I've had a lot of opportunity to study conflict and division and discussion in society when that works and when it doesn't work quite so well. The liberal arts promote precisely your ability to gain empathy, to express empathy, and to build community. And let me tell you a little about how I think that happens. You've studied history and literature to understand the modes of thinking of people facing a huge array of challenging situations from everyday life to the leadership of nations. You've created and studied art that focuses our attention on a question or a perspective through the eyes of the artist. You've analyzed the motivation of voters and consumers to understand their behavior, and you've imagined how life appears to those individuals facing economic and psychological challenges. Think about your coursework, and you may be surprised how much of what you've done in the liberal arts has been built around developing your ability to see the world through other people's eyes. You've been pushed out of your comfort zone by courses, fellow students, professors, and discussions that force you to consider other perspectives, worldviews, and modes of analysis. You've learned the importance of putting yourself in someone else's shoes, and that is the start of healthy dialogue. Now, once you've reached that point, or at least reached the point where you can agree to disagree, which is perfectly reasonable as well, you have started to build trust, and ultimately, you've begun to build community. And again, what you've learned here in CLA will help you redefine what is possible in creating community. You've examined, through your courses, how communities are defined, how they change, how they prosper, weaken, divide, and unite. You've looked at how institutions build and bolster, or sometimes diminish and harm, community. You've studied how communities thrive, whether it's in the realm of education, health, raising families, civic engagement, migration, environmental issues, employment, or other areas. And you've experienced what you've experienced what different communities look like and what they sound like. Most of you have had to learn another language. Many of you have studied, volunteered, or interned in other cities, states, and countries. You've learned from your classmates and professors who hail from across the globe. Through all of these studies and experiences, the liberal arts have taught you to act toward new knowledge with curiosity and an open mind, and to treat others with humility and respect, even when you strongly disagree, because you have, maybe even without knowing it, developed your ability to practice empathy and to create community. Well, I said I would keep it short today, and I want to hold to that promise. So I will just end by paraphrasing the words of a man of great wisdom, Conan O'Brien. A few years ago, on his last night as the host for The Tonight Show, a position that had been promised to him and that he was later fired from, he told his fans, "All I ask of you is one thing. Please don't be cynical. It doesn't lead anywhere. Nobody in life gets exactly what they thought they were going to get. But if you work really hard and you're kind, amazing things will happen." It is indeed easy to become cynical at times, but I challenge you to question that and to go the other way. Be grateful for the wonderful people who are in your lives and who have shaped your lives. Be grateful for the opportunity you have had here and the new opportunities that will come in the future. Work hard, and you will make discoveries that will advance today's industries and improve our communities. Be kind and bring to every space a new kind of leadership that is shared, collaborative, and inclusive, that crosses boundaries of culture and ethnicity, fields of knowledge, and political affinities. Be amazing. Write the next great chapter for us as a college, state, nation, and beyond. I am genuinely excited for you, proud of what you've accomplished, and we all can't wait to see what you will do next. Congratulations once again. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Adam Pallas, our student speaker. Adam is a communication studies major with minors in leadership and chemistry, who has had a wide variety of experiences here at the U. He was a trumpet player in the University of Minnesota Marching Band from 2012 to 2015, and an officer of Kappa Kappa Psi National Honorary Band Fraternity from 2012 to 2016. He served as CLA peer advisor for 2 years and was a CLA first-year experience section leader. He also conducted research with the Communication Studies Department and was a leadership intern for the undergraduate leadership minor in the fall of 2016. He represents the best attributes of a liberal arts student: curiosity, drive, and leadership, and we're very pleased to have him as today's student speaker. Please join me in welcoming Adam.
Thank you, Dean Coleman. I appreciate it. So fun fact, I didn't tell my family that I was speaking today in hopes of surprising them, so I hope you're surprised. In 2011, about a week after I turned in my application to the University of Minnesota, I get this call from this woman from the College of Science and Engineering, and fun fact, this woman actually was the president of the fraternity I would later join, so pretty small world. But she asks me that I see on your application you're interested in studying chemistry and CLA is your first option. Do you want to switch that so that CSE is your first option and CLA is your second option? Well, as little 17-year-old me, who was I to disagree with this woman who wanted me to apply to her college? So naturally, I agreed. Well, this delayed my acceptance letter by 2 months, spiked my anxiety through the roof, and ultimately CSE said no. And I remember telling my mother, well, fine, I didn't want to be there anyways. Which I was absolutely correct. I adore this college and this university. If you were to cut me open, I promise you I will bleed maroon and gold. I will forever cherish every moment that the UMNCLA has given me for the last 4.5 years. And I will forever be grateful for the gifts that they have brought forth in me. And that's what I really want to talk to you all about today, gifts. And when I say gifts, I mean our strengths, our minds, our hearts, everything that makes us powerful assets to any organization, business, team, friend, or partner. We are people who think in the abstract and produce the concrete. We are individuals who think critically, and we evaluate what is and pursue what can be. And we truly are the embodiment of the classical and modern manifestations of liberal arts. For me, the liberal arts has changed my perception of reality. I came into this university thinking in black and white, that there were only objective truths and hard sciences were the sole keys to unlocking the secrets of reality. And of course, chemistry stood above all others as the building blocks of the universe. And I even remember mocking communication studies because what could that possibly tell you that chemistry couldn't eventually deduce? Well, fate has a very funny way of smacking you in the face. And as you will see on my expensive receipt, I mean diploma, I am a communication studies major. What I found there was a reality that rang just as true as chemistry did. I found that there was more than one way of knowing truth, and I found a me that I was happy with, all because I took a leap and let creativity, critical thinking, and human connection become my world. And I stand here with you, knowing full well that you and me are so much more prepared to enter into that world than that little freshman me thinking that he knew the secrets to the universe. So what is this world that we're entering into? Well, society does stand at a crossroads, and every path is foggy and unknown. Anxiety and emotions are certainly running very high. We stand on the cusp of failing political discourse. We are facing massive changes to our global climate. We are engaged in deeply rooted social unrest. But I know all of us in this room see this not as the end of society, but as possibilities. We see the possibility of a brighter future for all members of society. And how this future comes about is through us and our gifts. We must be willing to take on these huge problems in novel ways. And through our gifts and our unique perspectives, I know that all of us can absolutely make a change for the good. I must thank all of you for your time and your gifts. I must thank everyone in CLA advising and all of the instructors with whom I've worked and grown. And I must thank my family for their unending support because they mean the world to me. So as our time with this university and college comes to an end, I issue to you all a challenge, one final assignment, and this goes for you too, friends and family. I need you to ask yourselves, what are my gifts? How do they show up for me and for others? And how will I use them? We must ask ourselves these questions, and we must take the time to reflect upon and internalize these answers, and we must act, for the world depends upon it. Thank you.
I want to thank Adam, and I also want to say the trick you played on your family was unique. I haven't heard that before, and I rather like it. So, well done. We will now be treated to more music, this time from Vocal U. Vocal U consists of University of Minnesota undergraduate students from various backgrounds who aim to unify cultures through the human voice. They perform at charity events and spread their harmonies in the surrounding communities, especially the University District and the greater Twin Cities area. Please join me in welcoming Vocal U.
Carry on my wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more. Once I rose above the noise and confusion, just to get a glimpse beyond this illusion. I was soaring ever higher, but I flew too high. Though my eyes could see, I still was a blind man. Though my mind could think, I still was a madman. I hear voices when I'm dreaming, and I can hear them say, carry on my wayward son. There'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more.
Carry on, you will always remember. Carry on, nothing equals the splendor. Now your life's no longer empty. Surely heaven waits for you.
Carry on, carry on, carry on my wayward son. My wayward son, there'll be peace when you are done. Lay your weary head to rest, don't you cry no more.
I felt it in my knees. Never will it leave. Each day it is retrieved. Seems like yesterday your eyes crept this way. Into my soul you stared and broke down every fear. We built our own house with our hands over our hearts, and we swore on that day that it'll never fall apart. We built our own house with our hands over our hearts, and we swore on that day that it'll never fall apart. Never fall apart. Never fall apart. These are hands over our hearts. Never fall apart. Wake up to the sun. Clouds always come undone. You give the light I need, like water to a sea. Read it in a tale, one too tall to be real, and prove me wrong and see a heart can truly gleam. We built our own house with our hands over our hearts, and we swore on that day that it'll never fall apart. We built our own house with our hands over our hearts, and we swore on that day that it'll never fall apart. We'll never fall apart, never fall apart. With our hands over our hearts, never fall apart. Take it away, we'll still have this undying love that is beating till our lungs stop breathing. Take it away, we'll still have our riches. No need for stitches, 'cause love mends the pain.
Take it away.
Love mends the pain.
Take it away.
Love mends the pain. Love mends the pain.
Take it away. Take it all.
We built our own house with our hands over our hearts, and we swore on that day that it'll never fall apart. We'll never fall apart. Never fall apart. These are hands over our hearts. Never fall apart.
I'd like to have you all join me in thanking Vocal U for an amazing performance. Thank you all once again for coming today, and graduates, I hope you'll join us at commencement this spring if you are able to have your opportunity to walk across the stage at Mariucci. We are at the end of our program, and there is no better way to conclude our program than with a song I think most of you know. If you don't know it, the words are on the back of your program, right next to the M. Vocal U, will you lead us? Those in the room may, if you're able, you may want to stand and join us for this song. Congratulations, graduates. Thank you, everyone. Please stay and join the party. Thank you.